Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, guys. All right, let's get to it. Today is Wednesday, February 18th. Let's see what happened with S&P 500 futures. Let's start with that. So, my first scenario was that yesterday I mentioned during the daily market review that we had touch number one, touch number two, touch number three, four, and then once we get the fifth one, we're likely to just break out. And I said this is target number one, and this is target number two. So, and I did say you can short from here, but it's much safer to short from here just because of the resistance right here. This volume cluster we discussed last time. It didn't go all the way to this level as I hoped. It sort of just came all the way here and then it died, giving you a nice opportunity to short. So I said shorting from here is riskier. Shorting from here is even riskier, but you see, it actually did give you a nice short opportunity. I did not see that coming. What I did this morning is I essentially just at the open got this at my level right here, 6,865, went long, and I took my profit somewhere around here. Wasn't waiting for anything substantial, didn't want to wait for this level or this one, and I didn't short after that, so I didn't really trade that much today. Um, would I have played this day any different? No. I'm gonna be honest and say no because um, I wasn't sure we're gonna do this in one day. I was hoping for it. I was thinking that we're gonna achieve target number one and then maybe target number two. But at one point, I decided that somewhere here, closing would be fine given that it was already past the open and maybe the move would get slower. And then I was hoping to get longer if we would have gotten a nice reaction here, sort of to get this and then go here. And this is the final take profit. But once we got here, I was monitoring and it just didn't look like on the 15 minutes I dropped down to lower time frame. It just didn't look that good. Something, always have to also account for your intuition, for your sort of gut feeling telling you what to do, and it just not was not getting a good feeling here, so I did not long here. I just did this little trade, closed it, and that's that. And then the other scenario I had was that we're gonna go sideways. I did not see us going any lower. So that's that. Let me quickly get rid of the old drawings and then we can continue with the daily market review. I'm gonna share some thoughts for tomorrow, for the rest of the week, maybe. Overall, pretty pretty happy with how the daily market reviews are going so far. Um, Getting pretty good amount of stuff right, but it's not about that. It's about just always showing up, doing the daily market review, just like analyzing the market and sort of giving you the viewers my perspective on things. So let's see what we have here. Let's start with the volume profile, and then yep, as we can see, cluster here, another high volume node, another high volume node. It's a tough spot right here. Like the spot we were in yesterday was easier for me. On Tuesday, it was easier for me to understand that we're sort of creeping up, and we're gonna eventually break out. Even though it didn't go all the way to here and then here, still it was an upside move prior to reversing um, towards the end of the day. Right now, I think if we manage overnight to just go here and not go much lower, sort of stay here maybe, we could potentially try and go again for the for that second target. So could try come here and then eventually here, and this is a nice opportunity for reversal, or maybe it just goes here instead. It just sort of stops here. So this is what I see for tomorrow. And then if we don't hold the 6,882 roughly, in that case, I think if we come here, I do expect us to sort of go into this weird kind of rangy sideways chop action. So that's that. Now that's basically for S&P 500. That's it. Weird spot. Technically a lot of resistance right here and here as well. So not looking for huge long opportunities unless we get an action here and then an opportunity to just drive it maybe here. I wouldn't hold it all the way to here. I don't know. Not a big fan of that. Let's see the monthly. What's the higher time frame context? So it's a big. I would look at it actually instead of just looking at it as a high volume node, so on and so forth. I would just look at it as a huge range that we're in, and coming here or coming here would determine if we're actually breaking down or if we're actually breaking out to the upside. So also keep in mind, always keep the high time frame context in mind. We're still here, we're still deciding what we're doing with this, and this is more of a fake out, and then this could be a fake out as well, that we could still be in the range if we come here. Once we pass this, then I would be worried about going lower. But as long as we're above this level, 6,828, should be fine. Should be no setups for a big short from here. That's what I think. All right, and if we take a look at the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, we did get the first take profit here, as highlighted during yesterday's daily market review. We did not yet get the second take profit. The reason why we got this take profit exactly versus just the way it happened in futures, the reason why we got it on the SPY is because the levels are drawn a bit differently, just because I draw it based on the extended trading hours and electronic trading hours on the futures, and obviously futures trade 23 hours a day, excluding Saturday. They're not being traded, and then SPY is not being traded 23 hours a day, so any kind of extending trading hours levels based on that, they're going to give you sort of different levels on SPY versus ES, but most of the time they're going to be the same or very close, very similar. And here we did even overshoot. We did go a little bit higher than the first take profit, and then we reversed, and one thing I do want to touch upon. Let's get rid of the drawings for now. Let's get rid of what I had in mind for today, and let's take a look at this. So this is quite obviously a level, clear, right? It's this green line right here. It's a level from some time ago, but we go here, we test it once, and once we go over it, the thing that would make you think, wait, what's happening, is once we're above it, we sort of gained it. Now it's supposed to be support. We have one test right here, just one, right? And then the second one, it's lost. Well, the reason is why we lost this level, I don't know yet. I'm still in the process of figuring out things, and maybe I'll never figure it out. So I never claim my trading strategy to be 100% accurate. I don't claim to have 100% win rate. The approach with the levels and with counting the test, the 1, 2, 3,
and then 4-5. Um, it's it's not 100% win rate strategy. It's not 100% win rate approach. There are probabilities, and you should always, as a trader, you should always be ready for this not giving you an opportunity for a good long. You could put you would think, right, that if it's coming here and it's a support, you are bound to get a nice long here, right? Just come this way like this, bounce here. But those bounces don't always happen. They happen. I noticed they happen more often than not. So the strategy with the levels, it does work. But even if you have a good level, sometimes you can get one test and then we just lose it. The key here is if you were dropping on a lower time frame, if you're seeing that the day is kind of very um, sort of a lot of volatility here going back and forth, ranging and so on and so forth, you would drop down to, let's say, 15 minutes if you were an hourly, and then you would see that we got the bounce. Let's say you got long here, you would see that we still sort of coming here where we're going lower. And if you've developed, this is why I was talking about screen time the other day. If you've developed enough screen time, your gut feeling, your pattern recognition would tell you that something is off, and then you would have an opportunity to close somewhere here before the big move. And even if you wouldn't, you would have, let's say, I don't know, you were stubborn and you decided to take this long for a ride. Although I do not recommend just holding it out, waiting for it to come back. Usually it does, and then you would have an opportunity to close it here at the same level. But again, be ready, always be ready for the fact that even if you're expecting for it to come here and just go higher just because of, saying, oh, this was a level and we didn't really test it. This is the first test. We should just bounce. It doesn't work in, you know, 10 out of 10 cases. Maybe it works like 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. I don't know. But don't just put your entire money in this one trade and just go long. I would advise against it because we always make mistakes, but you just bet heavy and you're ready to cut your losses quick somewhere here or somewhere here, or I don't know, even dropping to a lower time frame and then seeing this, um, seeing 1 second, seeing that we tested it once, got higher, testing it again, now we're below, and then we came here and we're going lower. And this pattern right here, where we're going down, where we're testing it, going down again, coming here, not being able to break it and going lower, you need to get out here. So you would need to get out here. And this right here, this is not a big loss compared to the usual wins you would get. This. So losing just this here is not a big deal. You should be always manage your risk. Never go and say, oh, this strategy, it works 100% of the time. I feel like that's a bad decision. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, going back to it, losing my voice a little bit today. Sorry, guys. Pretty much expecting the same. If we're going here, I do expect us to eventually take this out, come here, and then if not, if we're coming anywhere here, we're probably going lower, and then we're just sort of ranging. So that's that for SPY. And then let's take a look at the BTC. And then Bitcoin. Still going sideways. Still going kind of in this blue box, this big high volume node that we We had from one of the daily market reviews from either last Friday or last Saturday. I don't remember, but it was I believe it was a monthly or a quarterly volume profile, and this blue zone is basically a big level for at least maybe for the remainder of the February for sure. We're just gonna be here maybe for the next 2-3 months. Who knows? It's gonna come in play, but this is the longer time frame, higher time frame sort of kind of analysis. So ignore this for now. We'll come back to it. But just looking at the day ahead, we did basically just stayed in here. We didn't come here, so you knew that you shouldn't be longing. So that's good. You at least should know what you're not supposed to be doing. And then we got this range, kind of what I expected. If we would stay here, we would be just contained in this range. Nothing really interesting happening so far. One interesting observation is while S&P 500 went higher from here, Bitcoin kept ranging. I don't think it went much lower because we still have this, we still have this, we still have this, the entire blue zone. So it's not like it's going much lower from here. I don't see it losing 60k for the near future, for at least the February. I do think it's gonna spend some time here, but it's interesting that it's weaker than S&P 500. It didn't follow, didn't go higher. That happens. Maybe I'll touch upon it, why it happens and when, in some other video. Let's see. And then sorry. And then let's see, what do I think is gonna happen with Bitcoin for tomorrow. So for tomorrow, I think if we manage to get above this, then we could range a little bit higher. And if not, if we're not going higher, if you don't see the price moving above this line, then give me 1 second. If you don't see that, then I would expect we would come just do something like that. And again, it's prevalent. It all depends upon this line right here. If the price goes higher, that's it. You just playing off of this and just staying in this upper range. If we're not going higher, then you're just playing with this lower range right here, with this level, and then this level, and this level. And that's it. Yeah, sorry guys, I think I'm losing my voice. Hopefully not getting sick, but I'm gonna cut the video short here, and I'll try to do Jesus. I'll try to do maybe a live stream tomorrow and show you guys how I actually trade. Hopefully I'll get to it someday. All right, okay, all good. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'll see you tomorrow.